So, what's up, everybody? So, there's a new collaboration that pretty much showed that they're trying their best. I'm talking about the online community. I'm not talking about real life because a lot of dudes in real life have to move in a certain way, in a certain type of way, where they're not going to get affected by certain things. A lot of people have opt out of the dating scene and opt out all this other crap. But a lot of guys, a lot of younger generation of men, young men are lost, and they think that it's something wrong with them when they keep running into the same type of woman. So we got a coalition of guys who want to stop thanking men and good men for actually showing other good men, the younger generation of good men, and the ones who don't fit into the community, and the ones who don't, who the ones who are ain't don't want to use game, don't want to be a part of this dysfunction. They want to silence these guys because a lot of us, most of us are in our 30s. Some of us have just got out of our 20s a few years ago, and we didn't have the information online that we have now. So a lot of guys like MOT, Game Changer, and everybody else who talking against this crap want to show the younger generation, or even some people small behind us, that they have another chance. They never have another place to go to. They don't have to do all this Mount Everest climbing shit just to get a good woman, and then find out that woman is just like all the other one. She's just pretending a lot longer than the other ones. So these guys have teamed up to go against Sysbm and anybody who talk against black women. And this is the whole black woman brigade. And I forgot one person in this damn thing. So you have C Boogie, who at one point was talking about black women and saying all this different stuff. He came from Obsidian, and he came from all this other stuff. But the fact is, he's a military veteran. But the fact is, he don't know one lick of Spanish. He don't want one lick of Japanese. He don't know one lick of another language. But he wants to talk about his experience with other women. And the fact is, there's a lot of dudes out here is qualified more than him who speak the language and who been in the culture, that they could do a better job than he doing. But now he making his rounds, going to B1 Network. Everybody he want to go around with that go against Sysbm, he has done it. And he's one of the dudes out here who don't want men to be happy. He wants to sell these so-called good black women to good black men, but he doesn't want to see the reality of what these women really are. Because if they were good black women, like MOT said, they wouldn't be on the market right now, or they would make themselves so, they would be approaching men by the buttload, or they would be doing something to actually change their misfortune of them being single. But a lot of people know that they have been doing dirt behind the scenes, whereas the black dudes have been doing shit. They've been self improving for this unicorn, and it never came true. We have one guy on here. His name is Vision, and he's been a virgin for 21 years, looking for this so-called unicorn, and never found her. You got D. Durrell, a feminist, a feminist therapist that worked for women to clean up the mentality of men, thinking that he could send these men these he can try to fix these men and put whatever he want inside their head, and then send them to black women so they can mess them up, and then they can go to him and keep getting they keep getting diagnoses, and keep getting people going to him so he can keep messing them up by giving them bad advice to get with certain women, and then back and forth, and then eventually person is going to die from his bad advice. You got Super Sly, who showed his true colors last year by talking about Sysbm, and then what you call it, talking about Sysbm But then a year prior, he was talking about burning the community down. But then in 2019, with the whole passport gate, this dude is, there's good black women out here, man. They're not all bad, but they, they, you gotta take the fat ones. Cause I promoted a fat girl and did an interview with a fat chick, and probably smashed the fat chick. But you supposed to date the women I find attractive. So you can be unhappy and have to take Viagra all the time. What you saving yourself from, black man? What you saving yourself from? Niggas like you. So then you got the ringleader of all this shit. It's O'Shea, one of the godfathers of the manosphere, right? He invited so many women in here to dismantle guys, to talk down to guys. He invited Paris Milan. Guess what? She don't talk to him like that no more. She got all her subscribers, and then left the black manosphere alone. He put on Sophia G to let her talk her trash. He put on half of these B1 fools to let them talk their shit about good brothers. Guys who ain't been in jail. Guys who ain't been out here doing stupid shit. Guys who ain't participating in moralist bullshit out here. Guys who could have pulled the trigger on a couple black people, but they walked away from the situation. But they don't get enough credit, and guys like O'Shea is not gonna give them credit for that. Like, hey, brother, you walked away from these fucked up ass people, and you didn't turn into these fucked up ass people. You can do whatever you want. You can leave. But he's basically a biggest sellout because the main people who pay him is black women. Ron Wills, he made his money off of selling guys dreams about being an alpha and being a select man and all this other bullshit. But this dude is not even a select man himself. He's not even the top of his class at all in anything out here. MOT called him out a couple times. ARC, a moralist man who had sex with other men's wives and had sex with his own friends, girlfriends, and wives. But this dude want to sit back and say he promotes marriage and not all women are bad like that, and want to promote his books like his books is going to solve the problems of men's right with women. But this dude, a lot of people forgot that he gave an Indian guy bad advice about Mode 1, and the Indian guy got arrested because ARC didn't know the laws about the Indian dude, about the Indian culture. But everybody seemed to forget that his advice will get somebody either killed or get somebody locked up. So you got the B1 crew who Mr. Self-Improvement has teamed up with the guy, the same C Boogie, who don't know how to write in other languages or don't know how to speak in other languages, but he wants to tell you how he been this and did this and did that. And no wonder why he got a gun poked in his fucking face by a Mexican dude, because he thought he was gonna walk in there talking about niggas are dodgers and yeah, he can street dude. But I bet you he was peeing his pants when the Mexican dude checked him for trying to sleep with his girl, who was sleep with his cousin. Or maybe that's a fake story that he made up. So he teamed up with the B1 crew to talk about black men. But this the same dude who was on Obsidian panel saying that he don't want black men to be cleanup men for single moms and all these fake good black women. See how easy it is for dudes to change up when they don't have certain guys around them anymore. They go team up with the people who they said they never liked. See, the one thing this dude talk about hypocrites when it comes to women, but you're a hypocrite when it comes to you didn't stand on your code. And not only that, C Boogie disrespect a veteran that was never going to talk about him and not allow no. MOT never let nobody talk about C Boogie in his chat room until recently. And he gave him respect as a veteran, but he didn't give him the same respect as another veteran, and he disrespected him on that chat, calling him all types of names, saying all this kind of crap to him, talking about he don't got a family and all this other stuff. And it was like, wow, it was like, dude, he gave you respect as a veteran, but you didn't give him enough respect because he's not highly ranked inside of the black women's ranking system. Like this shit, and it shows just how much of a matriarchal mindset it C Boogie is, because he's teaming up with matriarchal mindset dudes who scam and use other people and disparage black men who don't have criminal records. They disparage their name. The black manosphere of women, the same kind of black women who go in the chat every time they talk about good black men. And it's about, I counted about like at least 20 or 30 women who are constantly inside the black manosphere talking about they're married, talking about they got a boyfriend, but you're in black men's spaces trying to, scout what kind of angle you can pull to get black men, to kind of get black men, to fool black men into believing that you're some kind of different. So that's the reason why some of these women in the black manospheres are in here, because they're trying to help their single friends find a mate, but it's not gonna work because a lot of guys are not, they're unwavering with their conviction of not being with these females. AMS. It's funny to me that AMS pops up every time talking about the same stuff about power moves and all this stuff, but the dude, out of all this long time that he been on here, he never did this shit he never did this kind of stuff in the black community, not in the black, the black conscious community. I never seen this dude pop up and say we all need to work together and do all this. This dude tries to act like every good black man like ratchet women, like he does, because he stay in the Bay Area. I've been with all types of women because I'm in California, and we gotta work together, and we gotta build power and structure. Women are coming. Women gonna come, and women, like, dude. This dude is not gonna tell you the type of women that he messed with, and what kind of derelict, what kind of, like, what kind of, I'm not gonna use that damn word because Sulu and Gray use that damn word. What kind of dysfunctional behavior he has to engage in to be with these women, because most good dudes are not in bars. Most good dudes are not in clubs. So this dude just showed his hand about what kind of women he actually mess with and what kind of men he don't mess with. I never hear him say that he goes in the cooking classes and get women, or go book clubs and get women, or something that's super like low key to get women. He doesn't do that. Ramil is against Sysbm because he said the same thing. He says the same shit that A1 said, but the fact is, if you have all this knowledge about working together and shit, then why don't you get 10 men together and do your shit, man? Why don't you do the same thing MOT did? Like, I don't get it from a dude who says all this stuff and then he acts like he know it all. I mean, one thing that shows me his age and how mentally hood this dude is, he does have some content, but the fact is, he says, don't walk around with headphones because you don't know who's going to come after you. This is kind of like, it's like, dog, just because you did dirt don't mean other people did dirt. And then he even said, don't put headphones in the gym. Listen to the gym music. Like, anybody want to listen to the shit other people listen to. So everybody's supposed to listen to hip hop and rap when other people don't want to listen to that dumb shit. They want to listen to workout music. Like, I listen to Rocky music when I'm working out or before I work out. So what the fuck I'm supposed to, like, the shit that he say, half of the shit, like, I'm with him about 40% of the time. The other shit that he say, the other percentage, he pretty much is over the top, and he just be like, look, man, if you really was about that whole life of business and shit, you could team up with AM1, and AM1 will find many other brothers to team up with, and y'all would just shut the fuck up and stop and sit down. The thing about Ramil and AM1 is, the fact is, if y'all had that shit together like y'all said, you wouldn't be out here. You would let men push themselves into oblivion. I'm not about to keep going into spaces of men who don't want to hear me talk and keep saying, we need to build wealth. Y'all niggas are this and y'all niggas are that. I let them alone. I never walked in a conscious community I never walked in a conscious community and try to put my views on them, and then kept doing that shit, talking about, yo, we need to work together. I never go into spaces where sneakerheads is and tell them that they shouldn't be collecting sneakers. I don't see any benefit for me talking down to guys, telling them that they should be doing this, they should be doing that. Everybody got a right to do that. If I come in your space and I'm sitting there trying to argue you down, okay, that's other. But you go into other people's spaces trying to talk down to people that you don't absolutely know, and telling them shit that you should have already done before. It takes like 20 dudes to come together with some big business deal. Y'all two dudes should have been did that. Not everybody's on that hood shit. Yes, people was born in a hood. People can walk through the hood like I did in my previous video. I walked through like a suburban neighborhood that looked hood, but it was a hood, and they reiterated it to suit another area because it's around a college. But I would never hang around that area. I don't hang around those type of motherfucking people. Even if I do live down there, I would never associate myself with those guys. But these dudes will associate with them and then sit back and act like everybody else does. Let me not talk about the go along with these. So because I might mess up my whole thing, my whole format. Jay Sean, he comes out against Sysbm, and I forgot it's another dude in here named Cool Gent that get going against Sysbm, and Reg the Bad Guy is going against dudes in Sysbm talking about Sysbm. Cerulean Gray, Mr. Boring Man, is against Sysbm. Mr. Super Intellectual simp dude who want women to go to the table and talk to him, even though women never talked to him a long time, but he wants to make the conversation. And in the beginning he was doing good, but then he started to change and become greedy. So Obsidian is now going against Sysbm and said some stupid stuff. Like last night, this dude showed me just how limited and mentally that he really is, when Marco told him that he was in Colombia for 20 years and he knows what he talking about before Obsidian reads something on Wikipedia. And Obsidian just kept going to Wikipedia, and everybody kept asking him, dude, why don't you leave Philadelphia and go somewhere else since you got all this money? And he says, well, Philadelphia is very diverse. You can get anything you want here. And I'm like, now we see just how matriarchal mind this dude is. He has so much hate. He has so much hate that he would rather keep himself limited there, trying to make money off of women he don't like, but then be around a woman who, allegedly, his woman is big and has kids. But he wants to divert that and say something else, something totally different. Obsidian lost a lot of credibility with a lot of people, and I lost kind of respect for somebody like I lost about 20% respect for Keith last night on Game Changers panel, because he kept trying to it seemed like Keith wanted to go with the argument stuff, because Keith was like, I'm Sysbm before I Sysbm, and I'm Red Pill before Red Pill talk. I was talking like this before I was young. I was the same thing. I talked about Red Pill shit way before I found the Manosphere, way before I found MGTOW, but I don't make a habit of talking in circle. Sometimes you have to just let people let them learn on their own and let them fall on their ass. You could tell him one time, but he always come up there bragging and doing all that. He tried to make a whole conversation out of what Obsidian does, and then it was just Obsidian just saying the stupidest shit, talking about, hey, no, I read it in a book. I read it on Wikipedia. No, you have to bring facts. No, I don't. You have to have that. He was trying to take people's real life experience and put it into a book and talk about data. And it's like, dude, are you a bookworm? Are you an explorer? Because you can't be both and talk about you been everywhere, but you trying to write a book on dating. His credibility is about 20% with me. And that's about it. And that's the content that I used to listen to. Mr. Research. that whole blow up he did when he was emotional on Obsades show what kind of man Mr. Research really was. So that's about it. So let me go to this format of asking the guys who are anti SYSBM and people who talk about men going to other countries and shit like that. Let me ask you these questions, man. No. So let me ask you these questions about these so-called good black women, okay? How many men this good black woman slept with in the past 5 years? If these women are good black women, they should be not even sexually active, and they should be waiting for the good black men, or they should be looking for the good black men, because when I move and scroll, it's a totally different story when we got good black men, and they have totally different stats than these so-called good black women. So how many men these good black women slept with in the past 5 years? Can you tell me that? The guys who are telling us that these are good black women in America are, hey man, you know, these women, they did this and then all this other shit that they be saying. Okay. How many fights did these good black women been in for 10 years? What type of music does this good black woman listen to? Because most good black men have diversified when it comes to their music. A lot of them listen to K-pop. A lot of them listen to opera music. A lot of them don't even listen to hip-hop like that. So if these so-called good black women are listening to the same ratchet music as the hood ones, so if you got good black women that they listen to Meg Thee Stallion, how I'm supposed to take this chick seriously? How I'm supposed to take any chick seriously that listen to Rihanna? How I'm supposed to take any chick seriously who say they good, who listen to Cardi B, or even Beyonce? Like, come on, man. Let's be real with this whole thing, right? So, number 4, how does she treat men who she's not attracted to? I just put it another way. How you treat men who you are not attracted to. But how do they treat men who they're not attracted to? Do they treat them like shit? Do they talk down to them? Or do they treat them with a level of respect like everybody else supposed to? Because the fact is that the good black men always treat the ugly black men with respect. We don't go around calling them names in their faces and stuff. But the good black women will talk shit about guys that try to approach them. You stink, you this and that. And then they try to hide their hand and go online and act like they're good black women. So are these good black women nice to every man, but are they nice to every man, or some men they find attractive? Because if you're a good black woman, you should be cordial and nice to everybody, not just the men you think are attractive. Because as I go back to man again, good black men are cordial with everybody they talk to. So does it translate well to these women? How many, this goes to the guys who anti-SYSBM and said that they're good black women now, right? How many wives and girlfriends you slept with, and how many good women you slept with? So me asking this, because I was writing this real fast as I'm trying to get this video out. So how many wives and girlfriends you slept with that were connected to these so-called good black men, and these women were out here saying that how they had black love and stuff? How many of these so-called good black women that you slept with who are still on the dating market, but you weren't trying to sell this point that these are good black women, but you were able to sleep with these women fast? But the good black men ain't gonna be able to sleep with these women fast. So you can't have these so-called good black women doing that kind of shit to good black men and not giving them easy access and giving them the ability to say, okay, I want to be with this woman right here, but then try to make the good man work extra hard that gave guys like you easy access, right? Why didn't Oh yeah, okay. Why didn't good black women make a movement to get their good black men back? Why there isn't a counter movement for Sysbm online to try to get the good black men to come back to the community? Why is it that you anti Sysbm dudes got to speak for these women, but these women can't speak for themselves and sell their self? See, I can't trust a group of women who can't promote themselves. Every other way of a race promotes themselves in media and through their marriage. They don't sit here and have men cape for them like that. Cause I never seen Mexican guys cape for Mexican women. I never seen I never seen Indian men cape for Indian women. I never seen other races of men cape for their women. I just see them promote themselves in a good manner where men are drawn to them by based off how they treat their men and how they treat overall everybody and how the experience is. Why isn't there there's no movement for the good black women to get their good black men back? Uh Number 8. Can this good woman stay without drama for 6 months? No arguments, no tantrums, no drama, no back and forth. Can this good black woman produce a life that doesn't have drama for 6 months? Can this good black woman give sexless men all the sex he want without drama? Number 10. Can she take herself off of all social medias for this good black man to show that she is worth being with by not even being on none of the social medias? None of them. That means that these so-called good black women on social media right now, if the good black men get with them, they wouldn't have no YouTube channel. They wouldn't have no Instagram unless it's business. They wouldn't have any social media. They would just have nothing. Could they actually do that? Sacrifice their social media for the so-called good black men? Number 11. Can she cut off all type of hood? Can she cut off all the hood? There we go. Can she cut off all the hood type of friends and family that she has for the good black man? Because most good black men don't have ties to the hood. They have already severed their ties. That's where that whole obsidian bullshit about the cookout, going to the cookout. A lot of men in Sysbm already cut their ties with their family and cut their ties with a whole bunch of hood people. They already did that. So can these good black women cut their ties with their hoodish friends and their drama-filled friends and their drama-filled parents and all that other stuff to be with the good black man? No, I don't think so. But I'm asking these guys: does these good black women have a good father and good mother? And can this good black woman that you keep promoting to these men, can she make this man happy for years without cheating or divorce? So there's other things that I have on there, questions for these guys too. I said, well, I'm going to, this is right here, right? The so-called good black women that have good black men. Okay, let me ask you this right here, and the parallels, right? Why is it that good black women have a high number of men they slept around with? More than the good black men that are out here. Can you tell me that? How is that these good black women, even though none of them are, a lot of them ain't attractive, why is they always getting gassed up and told they're beautiful when some of them are not? That the good black men are never told anything. We're not the good black men are never appreciated without being a boyfriend or husband to a black woman. They're never giving they're never given the credit that they deserve for not going to jail, not being a part of this drama, not being a not having sex with other people's wives, not cheating on women, not being a part of the dysfunction, and being a person who can be on time and be respectful, have morals. If it's so easy for women to have that, then why are these women so gassed up by thinking that they're more beautiful than they really are? Why none of these women are humble about themselves? Why do all these women have a high number? Why do these women have more opportunity to cheat on men when they're in relationships than the black men do who you trying to get them to set up with? Right? Why? Like, I don't get it. These good black women that you speak of have high body counts. They're told more than they're told more than the black men that they given more credit than the good black men are given. Uh they also pretty much cheated on a lot of guys, but y'all want to hide that shit. Cause most black men can't cheat and won't cheat on their so-called good black woman. So how about this one? And the last one. Why are they hypocrites? Why do they always act like and pretend they don't like something, and then when you figure out they do like something, they seem to try to make it a whole big thing, like, oh, I only did that because you're so judgmental and all this. Like, no, you should have told me from the start that you didn't like something. You like something, so I cannot deal with you. So here we go. The funny thing about the whole good black men argument and the good black women argument, the versus the good black men, these are the things that the good black men come in with in relationships most of the time, right? A lot of good black men don't have a lot of sexual experience. They only lucky if they had sex with like at least like 3 women in their whole life. Because a lot of good black men vet their women, unlike the good black women. A lot of good black women will have kids with the fucked up guys, but the good black men are vetting women to see if they will become mothers. This is the reason why they only have a low sex count. They're not players. They're trying to get in relationships, but they're seeing that every time they vet a female, the female already got multiple guys and they have to drop her and they have to keep doing it. Most good black men don't have ties to the hood 100%. They might have somebody they know, but they don't talk to. Or they talk to on the phone or on social media, but they don't hang around these people. These people don't know where they live at. Why is it that the good black women always have hood ties 100% with ratchet friends and all this other stuff, but the good black men don't have nothing, right? Why is it that number 3, good black men have been doing the right thing for 15, 16, 20 years, but all the time these good black women seem to be just start doing the right thing when they get older, or when they have a kid, or when they get with a fucked up guy, or get abused or something? Why the good black men don't have those kind of stories where they messed around with a chick who ruined their life or do this some crazy stuff to them, but they didn't do all this crazy behavior? They've been doing the right thing for so many years. How can you get with a woman who just started doing good for 5 years when you've been doing good for 20 years? The person who been doing good for 5 years already told on themselves that they've been doing good because they have to, because they got caught up. But the dude who got caught up with that one woman been doing good. He doesn't want to get caught up because he don't want his perfect record score to be fucked up by somebody again. Number 5. Oh, no, no, number four. Why is it that the good black men seem to they don't have the ability to cheat on women, and if they do, they won't. But the good black women always seem the ability to cheat on a man, or have the ability. They always have the ability to cheat, and they always take that opportunity to cheat on a good man. Because if they didn't have the opportunity to cheat on good men, a lot of guys wouldn't have stories about how many women and married men. I mean, married women and men with girlfriends. How many people they slept with? How many women they slept with that was the girlfriends and the wives of a man, right? Most good black men are not out here spending money like that on frivolous things. But the women on the opposite side are spending all this money. Why is it that most good black men are minimalists and the good black women are not? Most good black men don't like hood culture and don't like hood people and don't want to listen to that kind of dumb rap music and stupid shit and fighting. And they can control themselves in an environment full of people, hostile people. They just walk away. Number 8. Why is it that good black men never had sex with other people's wives and girlfriends? Not just because most of them didn't have the ability to do that, but when they got the opportunity to do that, they never took that opportunity. They stood on their hard moral ground. So why is it that these guys have never been in any type of drama with no situation where they're having sex or being in no love triangle, right? And why is it that number 10 or number 9, why is it that the good black men are told to work 10 times harder for these so-called good black women, but the good black women are not coming up to the good black men and working 10 times harder to meet them halfway so they can meet up together? Why? Also, let's see. Why are none of these so-called good women going after good black men in high numbers? Why don't they move where the good black men are at? There's a lot of good black men that I know of who moved all around the. Let me tell you a story real quick. There was a guy that me and him used to be cool. He listened to these fools by saying that it's good black women. He always would try to convince me that there's good black women out here. There's good black women out here. There's good black women. I say, okay, dude, leave me alone. You can think that. He would never find the good black women. This dude is well, my bad. He was a lawyer. So he said that he was going to embark on a journey to travel all over the United States to find the good black women. So he took tips from the conscious community. By him being a lawyer, he has access to all types of files and PIs, and he has access to mostly people, almost every information he can have. He went to Atlanta, found out half of the women over there was sleeping with bisexual men and gay men. And most of the women he tried to hook up with, who were so-called business women and high society women, cheated on him. So he moved to LA. Same thing there. He moved to Seattle. It wasn't a lot of black women there, but the black women there were the same thing as there. He moved to New York. Same thing there. He moved to New Orleans for a short period of time to try to go there. Didn't find nothing there. He went to Chicago. Definitely didn't find nothing there. So after doing all these different places, because he had lawyer money, he finally went back to Los Angeles. So he found the woman there and listened to a whole bunch of clown simps like a C Boogie or Super Sly, and finally found him a woman who's in church. She presented herself. I met her. She presented herself as she the nice woman. She don't like the ratchet behavior, this and this and that. And he tried to sit back and say, "Hey man, you need to find you a good woman," and blah blah blah. I said, "Okay, dude. I know that I don't want to be disparaging, and this is what happened. This is what made our friendship dissolve." I told him straight up. I said, "I don't trust this chick, and I think she just like all the women that you had experience with." But he didn't believe me, started cursing me out, calling me names, saying all types of other disparaging stuff to me. And I said, "Okay, dog, we're not going to rumble over this. I was trying to be a friend. We don't have to speak to each other ever again." And he said, he called me, a loser. He said all the kind of stuff that I hear on here with all these dudes. So a year later, I got a text message from him saying that he should have listened to me. He don't know, he wasted his whole life, and he hoped that I can remember the good times that I had with him, and not our our differences, or what we had, and when we had our falling out. Not knowing that he was gonna try to take his own life, I told him, "Get the fuck out my face, you stupid ass simp." I typed this to him. "Get out my face, you stupid ass simp. Me and you didn't talk in like 2, 3 years. Me and you ain't talking 2 years. I don't want to talk to a simp ass dude. And I told you, stupid ass, that this bitch was fucked up." So he proceeded to, try to harm himself. And luckily, someone found him, and that family member who found him called me through his phone, because his phone was still accessed. So I had a conversation and said, "Dog, I don't want to talk to you." And he says, "Oh, I remember you. You so and so. You used to be his friend. Y'all used to be cool." I said, "Oh, who's this?" "Oh, you so and so." And then he proceed to tell me, his family member who called me proceed to tell me that the chick, the so-called church girl, had HIV, and she got it from sleeping around with a lot of people in the church. And she gave it to him. He found out. He dropped his guard and didn't do his background check every time that he needed to. And he decided to end it all because this chick gave him HIV, and she was cheating on him with a guy who had HIV. And she gave it to him. Mind you, the chick is still out, and no charges is pressed against her, because, but the only thing she had to do is tell her status to everybody, that she has HIV. So I seen this real life experience with multiple people, and on my I told this to a lot of people, but I told this before. I said, when I had hackers, I had 2 hackers that I met on Tiny Chat that would prove my point that half of the women who they said was good, they weren't good. I had a 4 terabyte of information on about 300 black women all across the United States. Had a whole file of all these women who cheated on their husbands, flirting with dudes, having kids behind the dude's back, all this different stuff. I had their profiles, screenshots their profiles, the stuff that they used to say online, and the corn sign with the shit that they said in their inbox messages, in their text messages. Look, man, when I had those access to those hackers, everything was at my fingertips. When I was out there dating, trying to date certain women, I was given certain notifications and stuff like that in my email and stuff like that, where the dude would tell me when the chick is texting about me and who she sleeping with and who she was talking to, who she was messing with, and everything else. I would know beforehand. My hackers saved me from getting robbed 2 times from when I try to go on Plenty of Fish. So I had more in-depth knowledge than some of these dudes who said he's good black women. Because I looked in Pandora's box. So I already know that a lot of these good black women, number three, none of these good black women are called, none of these good black women who see other so-called good black women would never call out the women of what these women are doing to these men, treating these men like shit. They're not doing it. So what I see for the future, after all this blow up crap going on, I see the number of things that's going to happen in black America. Well, in general, in America in general, if certain things happen, right? So most black men in the near future will give up dating at a higher number, meaning that it will be higher than it is now. If men can't travel, if they somehow try to discourage everybody else from traveling, if men can't travel, then they would just get sex dolls because they would rather get a sex doll than be with some of these ugly ass, fat ass, fake ass, good black women out here, right? So the sex doll industry going increase, but if the sex doll industry does get a sort of ban on it, uh, they will most men will stay alone and get a surrogacy so they can have a kid without a female. There will be new laws made for dating coaches. That's what MOT said, because I looked into that case that OK Cupid is being sued, and Match.com as well is being coming up with some charges. Also, there's also a thing going on in the gaming community where gaming companies are about to get sued for them bringing out broken, messed up games and trying to resell it to people. So it's all going to come down in the near future where these dating coaches and their advice is going to get them sued for, because them not being liable. Now they're going to start being liable because the women they cape for are going to change laws to a point where they're going to start coming after them. Because guess what? Aziz Ansari learned that you can't team up with women. He learned that being a male feminist doesn't work out in the end. It's just like these dudes going to learn. If it gets bad enough, number 5, the government will step in to help better relationships in marriage. There are governments right now that Japan, they're trying their best to get men and women together in relationships. They got love hotels, they got speed dating events in China that happened before this whole disease came out. The coronavirus. They literally tried their best to hook up their race of people together. But in America, there will be a certain situation where you will see that the government and commercials will be geared towards men and women getting together. Not only that, they will start to try to change certain laws just for men to get into relationships. And they will also try to use promotional and commercials to get men to go back out there to get with women. And they will try to have certain things that men been talking about for years to be promoted so men can get back in the dating scene. Because the US government, they're crafty. They're not stupid, they're not like Japan, right? Japan won't really be proactive with the fact is they won't be proactive when it comes down to getting the men and women together. But the United States will spend trillions of dollars, even even giving free money or giving free house. Even they will give free cars and free houses to men who just to get men in relationships. They will take certain things off of prices of stuff just to say married men get in free, married men get 50% off, men with girlfriends get this and this. They will make sure that men will see that it's a benefit in getting a relationship than other countries, because Japan is not doing that. Japan just trying to push it and nudge it, but the fact is it's not working. But in America, they'll be more aggressive with it, right? Number 6, more men will marry other races and start their families. It will be at a higher number now. Some good black men will start their own communities in America and be more strict than anything else, right? There will be an increase of male suicides. And this is not saying that it will do that, but if it gets to a point where things are becoming more feminist and LGBTQ, and people are feel like they can't travel, and they feel like they gotta pay some kind of bachelor tax, and they gotta be a slave to a woman, they will rather take their own lives in a large numbers than let them be under women, and let them be stuck in a place where they gotta self-improve for women and throw game out there and date fat women and single moms and stuff like that. A lot of people will take the best way out that they see instead of living with this bullshit, right? It's going to be a weaker workforce, because most of these dudes don't like to get their hands dirty. They don't like to get certain jobs. They think that working at Walmart as a way to coming up, or a way of gaining work experience, even if they in their 30s or in their 40s or whatever, or they trying to like go through school or trying to get through a trade school, and they trying to get some money to get themselves up or whatever. The workforce is going to be a lot weaker, because they're going to be just like women. They're not going to want to get the jobs that going to make them get made fun of, or they can't get no woman based off the fact that they can't get a certain job and all that stuff, because people going to make fun of them. So it's going to be a weaker workforce, because the mentality of men changed for the worse. And it's just we're going to have all these metrosexual guys who don't want to get their hand dirty, or guys who don't want to do certain work. And there's still going to be a lot of fields that are not going to be touched by black people, but are going to be touched by other races of people. It's going to be a weaker army. We're going to have a weaker U.S. Army, because we got guys like C Boogie, Jay Shine, and all these other people, these veterans that come out of the military, and a lot of them are not disciplined. They disrespectful. They don't want to give respect to other veterans. They sleep with other people's wives. They've been kicked out of the military, and it seemed like the military was just a vacation to them, but not a life experience. And then they try to come and use their military experience as a way of talking down to people who never been in the military. We will have weaker men who can't stand for anything but women. So this is what we have now, but we're going to have more of this. We're going to have more of C Boogies and Taz's and stuff like that, who are going to want to just do things that make women happy, even though it's going to destroy more things. Because this is what we have, where black boys and boys in general are a lot weaker than what they was 50 years ago, where you don't have boys that are not innovative no more, and they're not sturdy with their points. We don't have a lot of rock star like scientists in this era no more. Everybody's trying to be a savant. Everybody's trying to be good at a thousand things, just like a woman. It won't be enough inventors out here. It goes to that point where we right now are supposed to be in a we're supposed to be in a technologically advanced society by now. We are supposed to have gotten rid of paper money. We have supposed to have flying cars. We're supposed to have the ability to. We should have been able to legalize prostitution. We supposed to have the ability to legalize drugs. We supposed to have a society, especially these simp ass dudes talking about how America's the best place. Why is it that we don't have the best crime stats yet? How is it that Japan has a better crime stat than us? Yeah, I'm not saying they're perfect because I read the Japanese news when I get the chance to. They have their problems, and sometimes they hide them. But when I see the crime in some of their areas, that crime is like 5% compared to the crime in the US that's about at least 70 or 60 or 70 or 75% more than even some of the so other first world countries. Why don't we why don't we have cleaner air? Why don't we have better things? Because they have suppressed a lot of men to be servants for women, and we don't have a lot of men who can just focus on making life 10 times better than it is now. We have a brain drain in the United States where most men who are intelligent don't see a benefit on sharing their intelligence with everybody else. Or we have guys who were intelligent, but they were told that they don't get women and they got to change their personality, and their brain capacity decreased, and they're not as focused as a guy who don't want to be a part of that system. So that's the things that I think in the future that's going to have. Now let's talk about the so-called good women that I showed that these guys are trying to promote men to get. The good black woman right here. See her name. Go on her page. Go on her Facebook page. Go on her Facebook page. And see all of this right here. All of this. With her man. But find this comment too that she called another man sexy ass. Your sexy ass, your ass shouldn't be so damn sexy. This is the women that you promoting to other men, right? You have women doing this shit on social media, but no woman to check them, where they're pretty much telling men that they're dogs. I want a boyfriend, but I don't want to train it or nothing. So let me ask these anti-Sysbm guys. Where are the women to check this bitch right here, man? So we wouldn't have so many stories that dudes said shit like this if we had so small good women out here, right? This is why I'm never wifing. I've been a side dude too many times and had too many female friends confess to me what they did behind their boyfriend's back. I really believe that most women have or will cheat on their husbands and long-term boyfriends. They don't want to leave their relationship, but they want to have the thrill of new inward penis. The problem is that women won't reveal it and men don't want to believe it. Don't fall for the hype. Most of these women have access to multiple penises and take advantage of it if they feel like they won't get caught. If they feel like they won't get caught. But you're trying to tell me that the women out here who are so-called good are not utilizing the multiple system of bag of penises that, MOC say. How? So the funny part about the screenshot I got is that the black community gets off on black male suppression, sexual suppression. They try to sell sexual access to sexually repressed men, but tell them that they gotta self-improve. So the woman cannot be sitting in one space and sitting on her with her legs closed. She get to have her fun, but the guy get to self-improve, get without sex, and then magically this woman says she's good. But this dude is not going to get none of the actual leeway that all the other men that she slept with get. So let's look. I found out women were married and they really don't want to end their relationship with the beta provider. They want some different penis. If there were so many good women out here, these guys wouldn't be out here bragging about their experiences, man. And you can't sit back and say, "Oh, these guys are lying." I would take my chances traveling overseas, getting what I want, than to deal with somebody who faking like they're pretending they're good. But I'm in a situation where I can't get what I want, or I can't maneuver like she can. But I'm supposed to believe her at face value, or I'm supposed to waste a dime on what she's saying to me and pretend like she's being for real and being honest to me. No man wants to go around be with. No man wants this type of shit right here, where a chick is screaming at him. But these are the good women you talk about, screaming and yelling. So, how many of the good black women did Jason DJ Pope slept with? And how many of these good black women you want good black men to get with? How many good black men you want to get with all the women who slept with DJ Pope? Because if this man can get 700 black women, but a good black man can't go into poor areas and get at least he can't get 5 women to have sex with him and have rotation, then what the fuck does that says about the so-called good black women out here? Or the so-called good black poor women out here, right? Why is it that these guys get an enjoyment out of doing this, but then they want to preach about good black women? If there were so many good black women out here, then you wouldn't have so many stories about this kind of shit. See, I expect it from other races of people because there's certain things coming out of that. But if we're not talking about other races, we're just sticking on black women. If there were so many good black women, why do y'all have so many stories about shit that like this? Now, I ain't saying that's not happening to other races of people, but the fact is, a lot of dudes already put a lot of they put a lot of stuff in place. They put countermeasures in place to see if their wife is cheating on them or not, if they date outside their race. They're the same thing. So when they find out that they're not cheating like these black women, and you find out the black women are cheating more than the women outside of black women, then you kind of messed up. Why do the so-called good black women have multiple kids and have attitudes like this? When he fine with no kids and and work and got his own place, we'll stay here. Another chick that I post before. Why is these good black women always linked to criminals? Why? So the funny thing about this whole good black man shit, why is it that good black women don't put their life on the line for good black men, like good black men put their life on the line for good black people? This happened last year. A man was paying for meals and handing out $20 bills at the Waffle House when he was shot to death. The guy was being a good Samaritan and he got killed by a C Boogie Super Slide type dude. Jay Sean type dude. Funny that you don't see this kind of stuff with black women losing their life doing the right thing. Nope. Let's not talk about doing the right thing for the hood dudes. We talking about doing the right thing for good people. Not in the hood. Not for hood dudes. For good people. This dude was just being a good dude, handing out money, and he decided that he didn't want to give money to a black chick. Her boyfriend shot him. When the last time you saw one of these good black women give out free money to good black men? The fuck out of here, man. So you want to act like that there's so many good women in this country, and the women here, it's so easy to get women here. If this was an easy market to get women, then this chick would have. There's no version of a woman in Brazil doing this type of experiment, fooling hundreds of guys. There's no woman in any South American country that would get away with doing this shit that she did. Or even in any Asian country to do some shit like that she did. So why is it that a woman got away with fooling all these men? Because a lot of these dudes are sexually deprived. But it's so easy to get with these women. But what you don't say is that it's easy to get with these women when you're a fucked up individual, when you mentally fucking ill like these women, and when you're dysfunctional and you engage in this fucked up behavior, roasting people, fucking in drugs and alcohol, overspending shit, going to places you don't want to go to, putting yourself through misery shit. But you want other men to do that when they said no, they're not doing that shit. They just want to do it. They just want to do a route where it's comfortable for them. Why did half of these so-called good black women always got to GoFundMe? Why half of these good black women have OnlyFans? Why does these good black women have all this debt? Even though a lot of these good black women seem to make six figures. They seem to have six-figure salaries, and they should have already paid off their debt if they made six-figure salary. If they made six figures for about more than 3 years, their college debt should be zero. Why is it that they college debt never zero when they're six-figure chicks or so-called high society chicks? Why do they got debt out their ass? So that shows they had no responsibility. But the good black men seem to don't have no debt and none of that. Why is it that you so-called good black women would use the death of their ex-boyfriend and act like they was there for them in their end times? But there's a video out here of his last moments of him, his suicide video, saying that nobody wants to talk to him and he lost everybody and he's going to end it all. Then this chick comes out of nowhere constantly posting his pictures up like she was there with him. If she was there with him, he would have never took his life. This the shit that I'm talking about. Benefiting off of other people's death. And these so-called good black women, when they were probably the ones that drove guys to commit suicide or drove the guys to having an alcohol problem. But you keep promoting these women acting like they're good black women, right? Why is these good black women doing all types of scandalous shit? Huh? Stuff like this. Your black queen right here. Why couldn't she let go of Larry Wills, but lied on him and said that he been abusive, mentally abusive? And why no good black women called her out at all? Why is none of these women in the gym preparing and self-improvement like the good black men are told to do? Why do we got big women who so-called good at college education, but they're not in the gym working out, but you're telling guys to go in the gym and work out themselves? Like they want to come out of the gym and go date fat women or women with kids. Why are good black women overspending all the time? So we supposed to forget what these women do in their past. So imagine this chick, that these two women I had who end up killing their whole family. This 18-year-old chick on the right end up going to prison, coming out of jail at 35. Am I supposed to? Is anybody supposed to date that chick on the right and say she atoned for her sins? Is a good black man supposed to date her? Huh? How about this one? A ugly, unattractive female with a list of shit for somebody to do for her. But she doesn't have a list of what she gonna do for a guy. Look, man. The fact is that most men will travel for somebody like this that you can't find in the US. Most men will travel for her just to get the experience of being with somebody like this without the American bullshit. This is a German chick. Why can't good black men get with a virgin black woman? Where's the virgin black women at? Where they at? Anti-Sysbm dude, where the virgin black women at? Where are the prototype black women like Adrian, who was a virgin, not a gold digger, stayed with her man no matter how rich or poor he was? Where they at? Where are these good black women at? Where are these good black women at to get the guys who ain't doing so well, but they see that they on their path? Where they at, man? Where are these women at, man? Oh man, how about this one? The beaten and battered storylines that we always hear with these black women. Why all these good black women always have these stories with these beaten and battered men? And then magically, after they get with these guys and after the men do this, they're good. Where are the women who never experienced this stuff? Anti-Sysbm dudes? Where are the women who never chose the worst men? Where are the women at like her? Where are the women at who will walk outside looking like this? Showing her thing. Not scared of any kind of persecution and judgment. Where the good black women at? Because there's a lot of men who got messed up hairlines. There's a lot of men who have small down there. There's a lot of men who walk around with their flaws. They don't hide that shit. They don't get no man weave. They don't do all of that. They walk outside with their flaws proud. But then you tell them to self-improve. Where the women that will walk outside with their hair like this? Where? Why is it every single time there's a jail guy connected to these so-called good black women out here? Why? You don't see good black men have a pipeline to a whole bunch of female inmates like this shit. You don't see a whole bunch of males who got mugshots on who have mugshots, but then acting like they're good people. I mean, let's talk about the situation with what's his name, Hayes Mosley, who wife was sleeping with Trey Songz and he took her life and took his life. There's other women out here, other men out here who did it with uglier women too. Tommy did a story about an older gentleman who was with an ugly ass black woman who everybody talk about black love and all this other bullshit. I seen that page. I seen that fucking page. I seen the fucking page that the chick was ugly as hell and he treated her right, but he was sick of her shit for so many years and she was probably cheating on him. It's not just the good looking women, but where the good black women at, huh? How about this one? Where I had a so-called good black woman say this bullshit to me, but you want to talk about tricking. How much are you paying? Paying for what? To accept your number. Laugh aloud. You think I will pay for someone to take my number? A black woman said this bullshit to me. No other race of woman ever said some stupid shit like this to me ever in my face. But there was a black woman that did. How about this one, man? Come on. You want guys to self-improve? For what? Self-improve for what? When all these ugly so-called good women can all they do is put on makeup. That's the only thing they can do. It doesn't match the work rate that we both putting in. So if I'm putting in 1,000,000%, I need a female who is 1,000,000% and who's not untouched by all these players and thugs. How is it that I can hold out on the so-called right? How is it that good black men can hold out on the so-called good black women and keep trying, but the good black women can't hold out for the good black men without actually going with these shallow, superficial men? See, when you see guys with other races of women, they're smiling. They don't have to worry about chicks like this who is a reality star who end up with a felon, right? Guys like Super Sly and Seek Boogie. Why worry about the dime game, man? The dime game, man. Don't worry about a woman's body count, man. I'm Super Sly. Don't worry about a woman's body count, man. Cause they just as the women overseas are just as disgusting as them. Okay, let me tell you to this all these other dudes. If you find out that so-called good black women did ghetto gaggers 5 years ago, would you still date her? Or if they don't body count don't matter, would you still kiss up on a woman who had all this done to her? Remember, good black women, they're good black women who are single moms. They're good black women who are ghetto gaggers. They're good black women, right? If they're saying they're good black women and they got good qualities, you should take them too. So are you going to date a ghetto gagger who did ghetto gagger 10 years ago? Or 5 years ago? Huh? Let's talk about the epidemic that happens with these so-called good black women, right? They have multiple guys telling them in their ear that they're beautiful. They got multiple men that they can go to While the good black men don't have none of that shit. Why is it that these women are always so-called fighting online, but they're so-called good black women and professional black women? Huh? So when good black men lose their jobs or their house or everything because of the so-called good black woman, where the fuck is a C Boogie and all these so-called community-minded pieces of shit dudes to get guys like this off the street after they lost it all? That ain't my fucking job. I'm not the one who sent a dude to slaughter. See, this is the fucking reality of telling guys that they're good black women, and then the woman change up on them, and the guys land on the street. This is the fucking reality of your good black woman. Why are you not creating shelters for these men to get back on their feet and create jobs? It ain't up to us. Because you already told us how we felt, and it's no benefit in that. But guess what? You pieces of shit dudes sent these dudes to the slaughter by fucking their wives and their girlfriends, and these wife and these girlfriends end up dumping their fucking husbands and putting them on the streets while they giving you money. But this is the reality of the shit that you say, right? This is the shit right here, right? How about this one? How about this story that a lot of people forget? The good black women are in college, right? She loved extra hard. Ex-neighbor said of the Penn graduate student charged with killing SUV driver, which was her boyfriend, by the way. They just didn't want to put it out there. See, the so-called good black woman is just as crazy as the thought, but she just pretends. But when she doesn't get her way, the good black woman, when she doesn't get her way, what she does is go on a rampage and hurt and kill anybody that is around her. But this is the thing that y'all don't talk about, right? You hate to see good men finally get what they were working so hard to get to. Basic shit, basic smiles, basic sexual attention, without doing all this other extra shit. This is the reality of married men in the black community. Married men seem to be high on drugs while their wife at home nagging the shit out of them, and they gotta take some kind of enjoyment before before they get in there, or they disappear on the weekend because they know their wife is cheating on them. But these are good black women, right? Pissing on themselves and shitting on themselves in the middle of the street, drunk off their mind because they was with a chick who made them turn into an alcoholic or a drug addict because the woman was hard to deal with. And the fact is that the dude was going over and over and over in every single state. He been all over the country to try to find this so-called good black woman, and he just got tired of it. He got tired of looking. He just took what he could get, and now he's a drug addict drunk in the middle of the fucking street. This is the reality of what these anti-SYSBN dudes do. This is the reality of the shit that they want other men to do. They don't want you to be happy because look at Super Slide, man. Look at that dumb simp Super Slide, man, right? Dude said he was married, but he has to cheat on his wife. So his wife ain't really doing shit for him. But he's saying these women are good. If these women were good, men wouldn't be cheating on them, or men wouldn't be trying to escape their wife through a bottle or escape their wife through drugs. See, what y'all don't show is that if a dude go overseas and buy a female a stove, he's still smashing her. He just gave her a parting gift for her being a good sport about the whole thing. But for some reason, it's a bad thing to give a woman a stove that you might smash 10 times than to go on a date with a female over here that you gonna go on 3, 4, 5 dates and you won't be able to smash about 5. You won't be able to smash that much with her, but you get to smash 1 time or 2 times. All that work you did, and only get to smash 2 times. See, I gotta make a video about the sex count, but so imagine that, man. That all these so-called good women end up being trains ran on them and stuff, and then they magically good women after 5 years, but they're still known as the woman who smashed 5 guys. So you gotta walk around, put a ring on it, and everybody laughing at you because you wifed up a chick who smashed people. But the fact is that everybody know you wifed up a chick, and she won't do half of the things she done with these other guys to you. What's the point of getting married with a fucking female over here then? It's like Pepper trying to go talk to Will Smith and tell him that she's a good black woman now after she been run through the gauntlet with the dude that she was married. And Will Smith should drop his side chick and get with her. Let's talk about self-improvement, right? The C Boogie, man. Some guys are not born equal. Wow, what the fuck? He can't put his videos up no more. Oh man, that's what you get for bragging and man shaming motherfuckers, man. Now you can't put your videos up. You gotta put it on Patreon. Let me see you got how many Patreons you got, cause I bet you don't got a lot. All that shit you talking. Nigga, nobody wanna buy your stupid ass content, man. That ain't a lot of junk. Let me calculate that up real quick and see how much money you making per month. For you telling it, you some kind of super level guy. So these guys want you to self-improve for these women, but some guys are not up to date, so they might have to get a procedure done. But if a man comes to the table and tell a woman, hey, you don't look that well, why don't you get a procedure done? Or you think these good black women gonna take account and do something physical to their body that might guarantee them a good black man? Because there's a lot of good black men who ain't packing who might want this procedure done for them. Right? So you got guys like this, like a C Boogie, who sleep with people's wives, girlfriends, and then laugh it off, and then trade the female for the guy. What the fuck? This dude tripping. He really think he worth that? How the fuck you gonna put? How you asking for? How you asking for fucking $50 for a Patreon? That man, I can't wait till these dudes feel that law raft shit, man. They selling dudes out, man, and I'm happy nobody bought this shit. They stick with the lower level ones. That's some fucking stupid shit right there, man. These dudes out their mind. They think their advice is worth fucking $50, man. You gotta be kidding me, man. I'm about to do that too. Then after this video, yeah, I'm pretty much done with this video, man. So that all I asked a lot of questions for the anti-Sysbm dudes. I hope they can, hope people can fill me in with that shit because they might not even answer. So